morning, everybody. It's time for racing. It's time for the race day on Sunday here in the beautiful Autodrome of Dubai. We had some great race action yesterday already. And now we're about to begin with the second qualifying session of that weekend. We have a half-an-hour session. The fight for the best starting positions for the race that will be at 2 o'clock local time here in Dubai. So it's -3 in Europe. I hope you're all joining us. It's beautiful weather conditions. We can see everybody's preparing the sophisticated GT3 Porsche Cup car. We will see 12 guys participating with their teams and their cars here at the Dubai Autodrome. It's round 3 of the championship, the very first year of the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. It's the start in a new era. Only 12 Porsche Carrera Cup in the one-make world of Porsche all over the world, and we are one of those. We can see one of the Saudi racing cars. This is Khaled Al-Ahmadi. His teammate Saud Al-Saud was on pole position yesterday in the Pro-Am class. We have 3 different classes here competing: the Pro class, the Pro-Am, and the AM. And of course, everybody wants to get the best result. We know for a sprint race, the qualifying is so crucial. Overtaking, always difficult with these sophisticated GT3 Cup cars. And what we've seen yesterday, all the guys, they were waiting quite long into the session because the track was still, as the drivers say, green. A lot of sand was on the track. But this time it seems that all the guys are trying to set their first times into the asphalt. We've seen Jackson Walls, the young man from Australia who was second in the Porsche Carrera Cup Australia, and this is the dominating man in the championship so far. It's Theo Overhaus. He's leading in the Pro class. He has 4 victories out of 5 races. He is the man to be beaten. And as we see Sebastian Gorga, one of 2 participants in the AM class, it's Robert Lechner next to me. Robert, great to have you here again. And I think we are both looking forward to an action-packed race day again, like we had yesterday.
Yeah, good morning, Eric, and good morning, everyone who is watching us online, and of course, everyone who is here on site. So good morning to all the drivers, all the team members. It's great to be here. Nearly 25 degrees at Dubai Autodrome, Sunday. So what else to ask for? Sunshine. I'm really enjoying myself, and let's see what qualifying brings us. At least it will bring us hopefully a good and interesting grid for the race later on. Definitely qualifying is always the foundation for every driver. And as we saw yesterday, the man on pole position, he also could basically defend his position throughout the whole race. But you mentioned it already, it was a very exciting race, and let's see today if we have different grid positions.
We see the winner of the Pro-Am class yesterday and also the man who is leading the Pro-Am class. This is Ahmed Al-Shikhab from Kuwait. The livery of his car is quite similar to that one of Sebastian Gorga, the man from Italy, who is racing against Leo Willard, the man from Austria in the AM class.
Yes, unfortunately the two racers, they also had a bit of contact yesterday. That was like never on purpose, but it is what is happening in racing. That was very close racing, and you could tell there was very close racing, and you could tell that basically this was like an incident that happened, and as it can always happen in racing.
Absolutely, and it's good to see both are back on the grid today. Both are here for the qualifying session, and we see ahead. This is Søren Spreng, the man who is also fighting for the title in the Pro-Am class.
It's good to see, as you said, Eric, it's good to see so many cars already that early into the qualifying session, because yesterday it was quite the opposite. So now you see we still have 26 minutes to go, and it's all about now finding the rhythm, because there was no free practice session this morning compared to what we do on Saturday. In the championship, there's always a free practice session, but this is basically, these are the first laps the drivers are doing. So it's all about warming up tires, getting temperatures in the brake. All these cars have been prepared by their teams. So, for example, I see Cedric Chazan for Team GP Elite from the Netherlands. So many experienced people working in that paddock. That's also great to see, and I'm sure the drivers have everything they need to basically concentrate on qualifying right now.
Yeah, it's great for us to see all the guys out on track, and also for everybody who's watching. We've also had many spectators here at the grandstands, and for sure everybody wants to see the cars on track. We waited quite a long time. As I said, the track was green and the drivers wanted to have a clean track line, so they waited until the sand was pushed away by the guys who were out first. But now we see them all, and here we see one of the Saudi cars. We see both Saudi cars, and as they're still warming up their tires, I had a little chat this morning with Paul Spooner. And of course, he was a little bit devastated. They had such a great practice and qualifying session yesterday, but in the race, it was not the result everybody was hoping for. So I think a lot of pressure on that team, because they are really fast and they want to bring home these points they all really deserve. Janne, very action-packed first race with a, let's say, a little bad end for you. You had a false start. What was going on?
Yeah, I had a false start because the car was rolling. Yeah, in the end it was 5-second penalty. So on track I was P3, but with the 5 seconds I came into P5.
But we still saw a great race. I mean, you were fighting for the podium. Are you happy with the speed you showed?
Yeah, the speed was okay, but we have still points where I can improve, and I will show it today.
It is getting loud now here in the pits, so it's time for qualifying. Yeah, very crucial. What is the target for the session?
Yeah, for sure. I want to get into the first row. So, yeah, the first P1 or P2 need to be in there, but yeah, we will see.
Cross fingers for you. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this was the very young man from Germany, Janne Stiak, who was a little unlucky yesterday because he had a false start, and so got a little penalty from our race director, Chris Norman. So he was 5th in the end, but for sure he wants to be on the podium again. This is Basha Madini, the champion in the Pro-Am class.
Yeah, Janne is the youngest driver we have in the field, so we're very happy and proud to have him here. He's only 16 years of age, coming directly from karting, having done the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland in Germany. So yeah, it's basically a raw talent, but he's doing really well here. He led the first time one event back at Bahrain, so first time he was leading a race, and he was actually fighting for the victory. He ended up 2nd. Yesterday again he was fighting for the podium, and I'm sure he will be again trying to do the same today.
And we can see a purple sector from Janne Stiak. So as he said, he wants to be on pole, or at least on the first row on the grid.
As we see the cars from Saudi Racing, they're pushing hard. Of course, it's a great team behind with Paul Spooner, all his experience, and with Sigi Müller, Florian Janitz. So lots of team members, many years of racing experience. Let's put it that way, many years of racing experience. Same for this man here, Basha Madini, who is living here in the UAE, the man originally from Canada. His coach this weekend is Dylan Pereira, you know, the Super Cup champion from 2022, because his original coach, Christopher Zöchling, in case you are watching, so big hello and shout out to you as well. So his #1 coach is racing himself this weekend, but I'm sure Christopher will be back when we go to Abu Dhabi next weekend.
Yeah, he was on the podium yesterday in the Pro-Am class, but was struggling a little bit, Bashar Madini. Well, he's a little bit on the back foot in the fight against Ahmed Al-Shehab, who's really on a high this season so far. Won again yesterday and could extend its lead in the championship. While we see Colin Bödinghausen, who was also on the podium yesterday in the Pro class. Was third yesterday. And here we have the young man from Germany, Janis Diak, who is on provisional pole position so far. He has 2 purple sectors so far. But we've seen the pole position yesterday from Theo Overhaus was under 2 minutes, so the times will be dropping. But so far, the fastest man on track is Janis Diak, the 16-year-old young man from Germany.
And now we found him also with our cameras, so thanks to the TV crew and the production company here. This is the fastest man right now in the number 40 machine. Janis Diak, as I keep saying, 16 years old only, born and living near Hanover in Germany. But we have many young drivers. We have Colin Bödinghausen in P2, we have Jackson Walls from Australia in P3. So yeah, that's good to see that there's juniors coming from all over the world to join our kind of rookie program, our junior program. And yeah, these 2 cars look very similar. This matte black and gold car. You can see also Janis sitting very low in the car. The rear end is moving a lot, so he's pushing that car around. So you can see it's important to stay within track limits. Yeah, again, little kind of push on the curb. So he's really trying to improve his lap time here. At the moment, the lap times are still way slower than yesterday.
And the man in yellow and red ahead of these 3 cars, this is Theo Overhaus. This is the man who's leading in the championship. This is the man who won the race yesterday. And this is the man who has to be beaten in terms of winning the race here on Sunday afternoon in Dubai.
What we see here, Eric, in the first minutes is basically them using tires from yesterday, because as there's no free practice session, this is also why they go out early. They use the first couple of laps on their used tires before they come into the pit lane. We have Chris in the pit lane. I'm not sure if he can hear us right now, but we have Chris in the pit lane with a cameraman, so if he could get ready at some stage when they do tire changes, it would be good to feature that and basically see what's happening.
Oh, we see a lockup from Theo Overhaus.
We see what's happening here. We see a lockup right inside wheel from Theo Overhaus. But definitely at the moment, no one is on new tires yet. So it's just about to find the rhythm, to get the brake balance right. So also the brake balance needs to be adjusted the right way. And we still have 16 minutes to go. So at some stage, we will see the cars in the pit lane collecting the new tires.
And it's interesting to know for everybody that this set of tires they're using now for the qualifying is also the set of tires they have to use in the race.
Absolutely correct. Later on, the qualifying tire basically is also your race tire. So it's super important not to really lock up too many times and to maintain your tire, because we will see a 14 laps race later on in around lunchtime. The temperatures are going to be maybe 1-2 degrees warmer. So yes, lots of tire wear is going to be expected.
And now we see Basha Mardini in the pits, as you said, changing tires. And Robert, what you already said, we have Chris, a colleague of ours, down in the pits, and what we see and what we see on the screen now, he's ready. So Chris, yeah, tell us who you got.
Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Robert. And good morning, everyone who's watching around the world. Indeed, pit lane is very busy at the moment. Like Eric and Robert said before, a lot of drivers went out on old tires that were used in previous sessions yesterday. But it seems now, pit lane, very busy. And as Robert said, a lot of fresh tires coming in. I'm standing right in front of Basha Mardini's car. We've got Dylan Piera, who's just standing right next to him at the moment, just giving him some little tips here and there to try to inform him maybe where he can improve somewhere along the track and here and there. But as you can see, a whole fleet of the Porsches in here. Actually, the two Saudi racing cars were the first two to come in, and they've been sat here for quite some time. And as the boys upstairs have said, it's quite warm here, actually. It's 25 degrees centigrade, and this is kind of when the year is a bit cooler for us here. But I will admit, it is quite warm here on track. Now, I can't get an interview just yet, as none of the drivers have actually come out of their cars yet. But interesting to know, a lot of cars have already put their 4 fresh tyres on. But interesting enough, the Saudi racing team cars that are behind us, they haven't got their right rear or left rear tyres on at the moment. They do have a fresh set on the front, but nothing at the back, which is a bit interesting. But I see now the team have leaped into action, and they're actually now going to put tyres on. As you can hear in the background, the track is completely silent.
Thank you, Chris. That's amazing. And find yourself a sun chair and a bit of water to relax, please, and enjoy the atmosphere in the pit lane, man.
Yeah, good to have some information down there from the pit. And yeah, we've seen Dylan Pereira, who is here, the coach of Basha Mardini. And well, yeah, Basha Mardini, he really wants to strike back today. He was on the podium yesterday, but for sure, he wants to have a win here in the Pro-Am class. And so far, it looks quite promising. I mean, he's the fastest man from the Pro-Am class. He's 4th overall. So seems like the advices he got from the man you can see here with the Champ t-shirt, Dylan Pereira, the Super Cup champion when he was racing with Lechner Racing in the Porsche Super Cup.
Yeah, he's
Fair
the
enough
champ.
to mention that.
I'm sure he's listening now, Dylan, if you can hear us with your, he said, Champ t-shirt. You have a Champ t-shirt for me. Once a champion, always a champion, and definitely a man who knows so much about these cars, and also he knows the track really well. But I'm sure Basha Mardini is super focused, and then we see Sigi Müller here next to Khalid Al-Ahmedi in the Saudi car. So yes, this is about time to get some advice, to look at data, and now for sure it's important to find a spot on the track where we have no traffic, where you can really focus on driving. So who is going fast right now on track? This is, yeah, Ahmed Al-Shehab. He's looking at the time screen as well, so they hand him a mobile phone. So he will find himself at the moment in P10. This is not where he wants to be, I'm pretty sure. So he's in P10 at the moment, but now it's all about getting focused, getting ready, put these new tires on. You hear him talking to his mechanic.
We see Jackson Walls. This is the young man, 21 years old from Australia. Second in the Porsche Carrera Cup Australia last season, preparing for another season there, down under. And we've seen really a strong performance of that young man yesterday. He was second in the race, was able to put some pressure right after the start on Theo Overhaus. And as mentioned early on, we had a little chat with Paul Spooner. He's responsible for the Saudi racing team. And let's hear what he said this morning before the session. Paul Spooner from Saudi Racing. Paul, it's about qualifying today on Sunday, and you had a great qualifying yesterday. So how optimistic are you to show the speed again with both of your drivers in the session now?
Well, very optimistic. If they can warm the tyres up right, prepare the car, be in the right place mentally, there's no reason why they can't do it again, or quite honestly, even better. We could have been mixed in the middle of the pros from the ideal lap times we saw on the data. So fingers crossed, they can put it all together and we'll see what we get.
And a lot of would have been possible yesterday in the race. Then for sure everybody was unlucky or unhappy with what happened. So how important is it for the drivers and for the whole team to get a decent result today?
Well, obviously the motivation when you go racing, not just for the drivers but for the mechanic and engineers, we like to see results. And if we get a good qualifying, it'll certainly put us in the right mental aspect for the race itself.
And in general, it's just amazing to race here in the UAE. I mean, the conditions are perfect. We see lots of spectators joining also the races, so it's just a great venue.
Yes, always good to see lots of fans here. The weather's perfect, not too hot, not too cold, so let's go racing.
Cross fingers for you. Thank you.
Thanks.
So we heard Paul Spooner, and I think it's fair to say that he was disappointed after the result yesterday because both drivers really were fast in qualifying, and I think well, they really have to do something today. Yes, Robert. Paul Spooner, very experienced, and for
Absolutely.
sure, I think he and the whole team really needs a decent result today.
I remember, I know Paul since over nearly 25 years now. He first came to the region already in 2005. He taught so many young drivers, you know, so many future champions. And he's the right man to lead that team, definitely. And he has two talented drivers. We see Khaled Al-Ahmadi in the 23 car. He was a GT4 champion here 2 years ago. His teammate, Saud Al-Saud, he was the rookie champion last year. So definitely there are the ingredients, there is the material. But definitely the competition is high as well. I must say, in fairness, becoming a Carrera Cup also is attracting more international drivers. And this means there's more drivers that are already coming with more experience from Europe or from like Australia. And on one hand side, very good because they can compare each other, they can learn. And the regional drivers will for sure benefit from that. I'm pretty sure they're benefiting from more international competition. But on the other hand side, it's also more tough to go for overall victories and for overall podiums. So therefore I wish everyone, of course, good luck and a safe race day today. But we have 8 more minutes and I'm sure we will get busy now and we will see lap times dropping a lot in the last 8 minutes. So it's about getting again tire temperature and also getting a bit of a, let's say, space around you, so a free track so you're not in traffic for qualifying.
But what we've seen yesterday, we've seen an amazing train of 4 drivers, all the 4 rookies that are the young guns, the fastest guys here on track. They were together like a train in qualifying. Maybe trying a little bit to copy the line of Theo Overhaus, who was the head of that train.
Yeah, slipstream always helps at the end of the day, so it's not so important here. We have a track that is 5.3 kilometers. We have 16 turns. It's a lot left and right. It's a lot of load on the car. It's also sometimes not too easy to see the apex and not to lock up the inside wheel under braking, especially when you don't have ABS. So that's super difficult.
And we are racing this time the GP circuit. It's not the international layout we had here last year when we were here with the Porsche Sprint Challenge Middle East. This time it's the track that is also the layout for the 24 hours of Dubai. I'm sure everybody around knows that special event that will be held next weekend here at the Dubai Autodrome.
So here we see a similar train. The gap between the cars is really good, but we see again Theo Oberhaus in front of Colin Bönninghausen and Jannes Diak. So these are the guys, of course, 3 pro drivers. And then we see Jackson Walls leading that pack here. So 4 pro guys. Seems like Theo is now leaving a bit of a gap and trying to find some space to focus on his lap. We have 6 minutes to go, so that would mean easily 2 laps for every driver. We see Søren Sprang, Cedric Chassagne, the 2 teammates from GP Elite just behind, so they have a very good spot, which is also important in qualifying, to get yourself a good spot, have some space around you, but also maybe a visibility of a fast car ahead of you. That's a lot of extra motivation that you can get from such a few, basically. A lot of extra motivation that you can get for qualifying if you have a fast car in front of you.
We see Jannes Diak still waving, trying to get the right tire pressure for the shot for pole position. As
So
you
let's
said,
see what
2
checks.
shots will be possible, but we're seeing these 4 young men fighting for the best starting position on the grid later on.
So let's see. Yesterday's poleman is already going to the last turn, Colin Bönninghausen. So here we see yesterday's race winner and poleman starting his lap. And let's watch sector times now as well. So we see Theo in the DHL team car, starting number 34. We see Colin in the Fire car, starting number 55.
So great to see them all together now in the showdown for pole position. 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session this morning. Fighting for pole position for the race. 2 o'clock Central Time. Today we have the 2nd race of the weekend, 3rd round of the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. I'm sure you will be all joining us. And this is the man who wants to be again on pole position. The man who's dominating the championship. The man in the DHL colors, yellow and red GT3 Cup car, Theo Oberhaus from Germany, who really is on a high in that season. And the man who wants to at least strike a little back just right behind him.
And his sector 1 was like the best overall sector so far. So as you said, Eric, oh, we see a spin from Søren Sprang in the background. This can always happen, but he's about to rejoin. Yeah, everyone is obviously fighting for grip positions here. You know, we just keep talking about pole position because we believe it's been decided between those 3-4 young drivers. But everyone is fighting for the best possible grip position at the moment, with Pasha Mardini leading. But Ahmed Al-Shehab just crossing the line.
So now the times are dropping.
Yeah.
You can see that on our timing screen.
Yeah. It would have been good to stay with Theo Oberhaus when he's on a fast lap.
He has his
Because-
2nd purple sector. Theo Oberhaus is on his way to pole position, while we see Basha Mardini, the man from the Pro-M class, who is 2nd so far.
Yeah, here we have the leader on the time screen. So now we see him in the picture, how he's pushing, how he's fighting. Oh, wow, correcting the oversteering. That was a nice shot and also nice driving by Ahmed Al-Shehab. You see he's really pushing that car around. He has to correct a lot of oversteer here, which means the car is on the limit, even over the limit.
But now we see Theo Oberhaus again, the fastest man, under 2 minutes, 1:59.864. He is on provisional pole position. 2 purple sectors and green, a personal best 3rd sector.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going and pushing for another lap. Ahmed Al-Shehab is slower than he was, so the sector is wide, so he's slower than he was before. Let's see what Theo is doing, and let's stay with him. Let's stay with the man who's on provisional pole position, because I'm sure he's pushing 1 more lap out of his tires. So let's see what he's doing. Let's see how he's driving. Looks very clean from here.
But it was no personal best and no purple 1st sector.
We see Jannes Diak doing a personal best. So now the sector times are really close together.
It's the man in the background. We see the 3rd car here is on a personal best 1st sector, Jannes Diak. As we're waiting for the 2nd sector times. But it's that triple. It's Theo Oberhaus, Colin Bönninghausen, and this man, Jannes Diak, 16 years old from Germany.
Jackson Wos is also doing a personal best sector. Colin is doing a personal best sector too. Janne is doing a best personal sector too. So they're all very close together now. So you can see we can expect a really close race because all these guys are doing a similar second sector. And the peak of the tire might be gone already. So it's all about what's happening in the last sector, in the third sector, in the final 2 turns. What is Jackson doing? Jackson, can he improve his lap time? He can actually. He does his personal best lap time, but he's staying in P4.
Second row for the young man from Australia.
And Janne did improve his lap time with overall best last sector, as I just keep talking about the last two corners.
So he's just behind Theo Overhaus. Also under 2 minutes his lap time, a 1:59.913.
That's the second driver this weekend who manages to go under the 2 minute margin, basically, or the 2 minute mark. So that was good.
That was just a blink of an eye between those 2 drivers.
Amazing.
Theo Overhaus and Janne Stiak.
4, let's say 500ths of a second away from pole position. That's a really, really good performance here. We see Colin is 3/10 off pole position. Jackson is a bit 5/10 off. And then the professional pole for Pro-Am is with Søren Spreng, the man who had a spin earlier. P5 overall, but pole position in the Pro-Am ahead of Ahmed Al-Shehab, Basha Madini. And then we see the 2 Saudi guys, Khalid Al-Ahmedi and Saud Al-Saud for Saudi Racing in P8 and P9.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We had Janne Stiak this morning in the interview, and he said, okay, it's about P1 or at least P2. And, well, that was really no understatement. A very, very fast session from that young man who was a little unlucky with a false start yesterday, so he dropped to 5th with a penalty of 5 seconds in that race. And for sure, he wants to continue to put pressure on Theo Overhaus in the championship fight. And it will be great to see those 2 drivers, Theo Overhaus and Janne Stiak, in the first row on the grid for that second race in the afternoon. The checkered flag is out, so the session is over. Qualifying number 2 for the weekend. As we see Khaled Al-Ahmadi, who is 8th position overall. So this is 5th position in the Pro-Am class. For sure not the result that Paul Spooner was hoping for, but there's still a race to come and there are still the points to earn. So everything is still possible for the Saudi racing team. But we have to say one more time, Ahmed Al-Shehab, the man who's leading, he's on 2nd position in the Pro-Am class. But the fastest man, we saw his spin. But Søren Spreng from Germany, the man who's racing for GP Elite, the fastest guy in the Pro-Am class. Robert, that was exciting. That qualifying was good.
That was good, and it's good to see cars on track from the beginning on and then changing to new tires. I don't know if Chris is still standby in the pit lane. Chris, can you still hear us in the pit lane as the drivers are coming in and getting out of their cars? Maybe we can speak to Chris one more time. And yeah, from my side, I'm looking forward to the race. It's definitely all ready, all set. We have the grid positions now. It's important for the drivers to relax, to basically drink a lot of water, not getting dehydrated. It's super warm in the cars, you know, temperatures around 70 degrees in the cockpit. And it's also important to get basically a little bit of food and energy before the race. So let's see if we can speak to Chris one more time.
Here we have Saud Al-Saud, the man who was on pole position yesterday in the Pro-Am class, representing the colors of the Saudi racing team. And we'll see, maybe we can have Chris with a little chat with our pole setter or with one of the young guns.
So I'm waiting in the pit lane at the moment now for the pole sitter to come. Theo Orvenhausen got pole position by 0.49. 4/100ths of a second was the gap between pole position and second place. Now, I have been speaking to a few of the teams and the drivers down here. I was speaking to Dylan Pierre again about the strategy that plays off here during the qualifying session. As we saw, a lot of cars came in only about doing a lap or two, and that's because obviously they were using tyres from sessions yesterday. They came in and put a fresh set of slicks on, and of course, a lot of the cars actually ran with lower fuel loads to keep the car nice and light for the end of the qualifying session there to ensure that they get those quick lap times in. Now, Theo has actually just come into the pit lane now. He's just having a quick debrief with the team, but let's see if we can pop up, get him as soon as he gets out of the car as well, because of course I know drivers love this when the media comes straight towards them. He's already got a camera on him at the moment, and of course he's having a quick chat with the team. We've made eye contact, so that's probably him trying to avoid me already and trying to get rid of me. But
you have to tell him we're live, Chris. You have to tell him we're live.
I will definitely try and do that now. So Theo is just having a debrief here with the team. Just, of course, in a different language that I don't understand. So they're probably saying, please leave. But no,
and he
that's
needs
not
to
what we
go
do.
weighing, you know. All the drivers, they need to go weighing. Of course, he knows that. But if he can have a quick word with you, that would be great.
Theo is still getting his congratulations. I think he's just trying to get his helmet off. Once he's done that, we can have a quick chat with him. Theo, another pole position. So that's 2 for 2 for you here this weekend. The margin between you and the car that starts alongside you was 4/100ths of a second. Talk us through it.
Yeah, pretty close, I think. I didn't watch the times yet, but when Colin's 400s behind me, it's pretty close. He made the step from yesterday. I didn't, so I'm not quite happy with my lap, but I will watch the data and then maybe I get faster in the race.
Well, you've got some time now to kind of reflect on what happened during the qualifying session there, but it was mighty impressive. I think it was between you and Janne Stark there. You guys came very close to this. It was the penultimate lap it came down. You two had the fastest lap there. What's it going to be like starting against someone that is the same age as you, someone just as fast as you are? Is there going to be a challenge, or how are you going to keep it?
Yeah, for sure it's a challenge. You always want to be the fastest youngster, and we are in pole position, so I'm looking forward to be the winner in the race.
Okay, well, I'll let you do the drive away, and thank you so much for talking to us, and good luck for race 2 later on today. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with any of the GCC drivers. I'll just throw it quickly back upstairs to Eric and Robert, and I'll make my way over here to the left.
Thank you very much, Chris. Great job from you. So great to hear our pole setter who was, and that is surprisingly for me, not really happy with his lap. I mean, he's on pole position, Robert.
No racing driver is ever really happy with his qualifying lap. They will always tell you, I could have gone faster here, it could have been faster there. But really good to hear you, Chris, the only native speaker online here. So me with my Austrian accent. So definitely, if we could speak to some of the local drivers, that would be great. I see, whom do I see? I see Pasha Mardini in the pit lane here. But definitely it would be great to see maybe if Ahmed Al-Shehab is here. He's P2 in the Pro-Am category, for example. Or I see you going to the Saudi racing team. So that's great. I see Chris, I think he's in the right garage right now, in the garage 4A, where the cars are getting pulled backwards into the pit lane. So if you're ready, Chris, whenever you're ready, please start.
To the Saudi racing garages. Yes, indeed, I have made my way over now to the Saudi racing garage. I've got Saud because, of course, Saud, you've actually raced here before, but not in the same car. You've actually raced in Formula 4, so you actually have a bit more experience compared to some of the younger talent in the field. But I'm going to say you look very calm, you look very concise, you look serious. You've just had a very good qualifying session there, but you look so calm.
So yeah, like you said, I started in Formula 4 here after karting, and it was a good experience for me. I know it was the beginning of the journey for me, and I learned a lot from it. Made me stronger, made me competitive, and I switched to GT after Formula because you know, they're all youngsters on their journey to Formula 1. For me, I'm older than them, so I have to find my way to the top in GT. So I did GT4 here in the Middle East in the same championship in my first year. As a rookie, I finished second, vice champion. After that, I did my debut in the GT3, where I finished as a rookie champion last year. And this is my third season in the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. And yeah, learning and hopefully trying to make it up to the top.
Thank you, Saud, for talking to us. I wanted to talk with you, but we'll do that later on. But I think now, let's go back upstairs and maybe we'll get some highlights of the qualifying session that just took place here for race number 2.
Thank you, Chris. It was great to have them, and we see some highlights now of the qualifying session. Already want to remind you that racing will be 2 p.m. local time when we see all these cars here for the second race, the Autodrome here in Dubai. And here we are again. These were the highlights of the qualifying session for the race on Sunday. And I think it's fair enough to say, Robert, we're looking forward to an exciting race.
Absolutely. I will go down to the pit lane now, see team members, drivers, and get some more information to be back here for the race. Thank you, Eric. And please keep watching us online later on.
See you at 2 o'clock. Cheers.